What is up, Gunpla Modelers? This is Stryderprime, bringing you a new edition of Gundam models. And first thing I have to say is Happy New Year. I hope everyone enjoyed their festivities with their families and friends. 2018 is starting to become an interesting year for a lot of genres, including, of course, Gundam. And there's a lot of cool announcements that, sooner or later I will get to. But for now, let's talk about 2017 and all the Gundam kits that I made this past year. Now, in essence, this was not a year of abundance, you could say. Normally I would make a lot of kits, but this year was different. This year I focused more on quality than quantity, and I decided to take a little bit more time working on my kits, giving it the extra, you could say, love, to make it look good. Some kits didn't come out the way I want. Some came out pretty well, to the point where I've even, achieved an award. And of course, I did my first ever scratch build kit, which we will cover soon enough. But this year was pretty interesting. Let's look at each and every one of these kits that I made and reminisce. So the first kit that I began building in 2017 was the Re1 R1 AMX 107 Baowu from the Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta series. This was a really nice kit to see at this scale. I mean, we have the high grade version, but when the RE version was announced, it was a bit of a shock for everybody. It was like, wow, they actually were going to make this? And when I got my hands on it, I already knew right off the bat that I wanted to paint it in its mass production colors. Now, I also went a little ahead and did a little bit of scratch building and made the custom sleeves. So I made it the sleeves version of the Baowu from the animated series of Unicorn Gundam. It's a great kit, very nice. I've seen people do the transformation of this, and I believe Mr. Dash did a great custom work on his kit, which I would have loved to see at GBWC 2017. But regardless of the case, this one came out really nice with me painting it the green. It's supposed to be a two-tone green, but I decided to keep it the way it is, like all green, but then some of the darker parts was a darker shade of green. And then of course I made all the yellow parts white with a little bit of metallic here and there. Not too much though, but it came out really nice indeed. And it's actually one of my first enjoyable builds of an. Actually, no, this was actually the second RE kit that I built, so I was pretty impressed with its overall design. There's already a P-Bandai version of the mass production type, and the Baowu is out there as a P-Bandai as well. So if you guys see this, pick it up. It's a really nice build. Good transformations, a little quirky here and there, but it is what it is, and you gotta love this kit at this scale. My next build was the high-grade Gundam Vidar from the second season of IBO. It's an interesting mobile suit. I have to say, a lot of people really had some positive things about this kit, about the mech itself from the animated series. And I said, let me get my hands on this because try it out. I was considering of getting the 1/100 scale version of it, but I said, no, I think I'm okay with this because I didn't realize what was going to happen down the road. It is a very nice kit. It's just a little finicky with the how to position it, how to stand it. I do like the fencer type sword, and I kind of like that machine gun, which was pretty much not used in the anime. The one gripe I'm not particularly fond of is those side skirt that look like something out of Attack on Titans, which I'm surprised nobody has made an Attack on Titans version of this kit. Probably somebody's doing it and decided not to do it, or maybe they're doing it on the 1/100 version. But this was a nice kit to build, and I decided to do a straight build for now. So I don't see myself revisiting this kit, but it is a decent kit overall. Very decent. My next kit, as you see here, is the 1/4000 scale SDF-1 Makris Movie Edition from, of course, Do You Remember Love animated movie. This was a great and very, very tiring build because not only I have to paint this and all that stuff, but I did something that I think I'm the only one who did it for now, but there are other people who have done it probably better, and that is putting the lights that you see here. I wasn't originally planning to do lights. I was just going to do standard, you know, assemble it, paint it, doing the little bit of the, you know, little Macross fighters that you see there, the little monster there. One of them, I lost the other monster. I don't know where the hell it is, but regardless, just, you know, good pre-shading, good detailing work. The decals were placed on this very well. But as I'm building this, I said to myself, you know what, can I do the LED light idea? And sure enough, this was the first time I was doing not the serial. I think it's the serial. A serial, and maybe you know, I'm kind of probably saying to myself I did this wrong, but regardless, I did it in this. I was able to squeeze 12 LED lights, 12, powered by 2 AA batteries. For you guys who are into LEDs and all that stuff, I was able to figure it out where it can, you know, I could power up all the lights in one, you know, in one shot with 2 batteries. The batteries are still there from the time I went to the, you know, MosquitoCon show, and as you could see, when it comes around, it's still lit up. And getting it detailed, getting it ready for MosquitoCon, I put in so much work that I was able to get these 2 awards on that day. I was a bit surprised, and I'm very proud that I was able to achieve it on this kit. It was really great to build an amazing model kit, and came out that way. So thank you to MosquitoCon for, you know, observing it, and I really appreciate it. So my next build was actually a dual build video because I was really interested in building both of these kits, and that was, of course, the 1/100 scale Barbatos Lupus and the 1/100 scale Barbatos Lupus Rex from the 2nd season of Iron-Blooded Orphans. Sorry I cannot put this on this guy because it would not hold him up. It'll just go down and I'll begin banging around here. But as you can see here, I was able to get it on the stand. I decided to change up a bit, do a couple of things. First off, for the Lupus Rex, I did the pre-shading and the detail work and whatnot, and of course made it as simple as you can, nothing crazy. That came out really nice. The standard Lupus, however, I used a new type of metallic paint from AK Interactive. I think it's called Extreme Metals. I forgot the name of it now. In which case you don't airbrush. You just use a regular brush and apply it on it and then buff it. It's interesting and very cool. Some of the parts, of course, was painted metallic, like the red and the inner frame of the charcoal. And as a matter of fact, the inner frame on the Rex, I used another product called AK Interactive Gunmetal, which is very, very smooth, goes down pretty well. The other one was a regular gunmetal from Elclad 2. I kind of like how it came out. It was a little bit exhausting to do both of them at the same time, but in reality, as long as you concentrate on, you know, how you do it and don't mess up, you're good. The only problem is I lost one of the parts, so I was like, god damn it. But it is what it is. In reality, I was getting a little sick and tired of the Barbatos frame, and I said I will never build another Barbatos ever again because I'm kind of done with it. I hope Bandai doesn't decide to release another, you know, Barbatos type Gundam that has the inner frame, and I don't see myself getting any of the other ones like the Vidar or the Veil or the Vol, or how you call it. And I was not a big fan of how loose the legs were. If you have it on a stand, which it came with a custom stand for the Rex, that's good. But the rest, you know, if you want to keep it standing up, get yourself a good wall on your shelf. But either or, the Barbatos was a great build, and I wouldn't pass it up if you guys want to get this. So the next master grade I started working on was the 1/100 scale Providence Gundam from the Gundam Seed animated series. This is, of course, falling in line with the 2.0 version of the Freedom Gundam that came out the year before, and it uses the same inner frame that was found and that was used in that kit. I did a lot of detail. As you can see here, it was a two-tone detail with the light blue and the white. Some use regular gunmetal and some darker gray colors for different types of tones. And it came out really nice. The detail came out nice. The panel lining came out okay. And this was the premium kit that I purchased during my, I think it was on my birthday, not realizing that, of course, even though you get the premium kit with all the decals, none of them was for this kit at all. It was all for other master grade kits that I don't have. And maybe one I do have, but I'm not going to build it. Or I think I've already built it. In essence, it's a nice kit. It's very nice, but I was a bit shocked at the lack of inner frame look to it from the arms. The legs were okay, but the arms was like, what is this? I don't understand it. I don't get it. Yeah, it is from, of course, the 2.0 Freedom, and now I'm kind of more inclined not to get the 2.0 Freedom, but that may change down the road if I see it ever, you know, as a deal or something like that. Still, a very worthwhile kit, very nice. I haven't seen nobody done some crazy customizations with this kit, but you know, it won't be long until somebody actually modifies it and makes it something a little bit different. Maybe make their versions of the Legends Gundam. But who knows? It is a very well constructed and very solid kit, including with the base if you buy the premium version. So the next kit I started working on was the high-grade Gundam local type from the Origins MSD line, Mobile Suit Discovery line. This was a really neat kit to get, and I was again surprised of how well designed and detailed it is, and easy to make. Very easy. No problems whatsoever with the construction of this. It's very nice and straightforward. And I kind of recommend it as a starter kit if you ever get your hands on it. With this one, I actually did a little bit of modifications, not too much though. It was basically converting the shield with a double barrel cannon that was used that's part of the campaign parts. I had a lot of campaign parts left over, and I thought it would probably be a cool idea to try this on this kit. Now, I bought the decals and I was going to put them on, but it always seems to have something interfering with me, and I gotta get the decals on this so I can, you know, panel line it. But I'll definitely get that done so I can do it and show it off, and then that way it'll look nice. It is a nice kit to get, not too expensive. If you see it, get it. Excellent work, excellent detail on it, and very easy to work on. Good starter kit for anybody who wants to get into Gundam. Next kit I started working on was the classic model kit from the Yamato line. This is the Earth Defense Force flagship Andromeda from the second season of Space Battleship Yamato, also or the Comic Empire, from the Star Blazers line. This is not the Andromeda from the 2202 animated series, but its spot-on detail from the series looks amazing at this scale. There is now a Mecha Collide version of this kit, so it's out, but if you get your hands on this, it's easy to build and work on. And as you can see, I painted it. I actually used the same paint that I used on the Providence, and a little hand brushing here and there to give it a little bit more detailed work. And it came out pretty good. Very nice for this scale. I always did like the smaller kits from the Yamato line, even the classic ones. And I may revisit some that I have that I've built already, but I want to paint it and maybe clean it up a bit. They're old, but they're really good old kits. The next kit I started working on was the high-grade 144 scale Gundam Schwarzritter. This was from a manga line, I guess. It didn't come out on any anime or any of the battle log episodes. And it was an all-black type mobile suit with the swords and all that stuff. But as I was doing research at the time of seeing this, I saw there was a white version of it in what was referred to as the cathedral colors. So I decided to repaint it and call it Gundam Cathedral Schwarzritter. And as you can see here, it came out awesome with the gold and the white with a little bit of gray trim here and there and red. Very nice. It was a bit of a chore in one aspect, if I remember correctly. You definitely do have to be careful with this, especially when you make sure you paint it all white and the details there. I didn't want to panel line it because the white and the gold looks so nice. I don't want to ruin it with something else. So this purposely was not panel lined. I'm sorry. That was, my choice. I know many people saying, why don't I panel line this and that, but some kits need panel lining, some of them don't, and this one I chose not to. It's a nice build fighter kit, very simple to make. There was a lot of leftover parts for this kit, but regardless of the case, it's a nice kit to get, and if you get your hands on it, it's really nice if you want to paint it like this, or maybe paint it some other tone of color. The whole reason why I bought it is because I love the sword. You can turn it into the dual-wielding sword, as you can see here, or the massive buster sword. So my next build was this kit. I refer to it, this is actually the 1/100 scale Man Rowdy high grade. But at the time of me building this, I was also doing a contest during the summer. It was called the Summer Gunpla Custom Contest. And was basically having everybody join the contest, win prizes, and basically the whole just was take an IBO grunt suit from the IBO line. Cannot be none of the Gundam kits or the any Gundam frame, and just go to town with it. Create a crazy custom. And since a lot of people were sending me their interpretations of their customs, I decided to make my own, obviously not for entering, but to show off what I can do, or what I can think I could do. This is technically the precursor of what I was going to do next, because I wanted to do scratch building, but I wanted to go see how far I can go. So using leftover parts or extra parts from the cannons, that was from the set number 1, the builder set number 1, especially the turrets, which is basically the little mobile units that we all remember. The booster pack from the Makris, shield from other parts as well. Some pla plate to give it a little bit more detail. And by the time I was done, I turned this into what I refer to as the Burst Rowdy, a very high mobility, fast unit with the 2 cannons firing off at the same time, or and then the turret shoulders for either for harassment or shooting down missiles or rockets. There's a small turret in the back, the booster engines in the back as well, and of course the guns can pop off, so you can go into melee mode, so you can take on whatever mobile suits in close range. This was what I was telling everybody they should do, or their concept ideas. It was a great idea. I like it how it came out. And it was pretty much something to prepare myself for my next build. So the next kit I was working on was the 144 scale high grade Gundam Rebake Full City. This was just a quick build that I wanted to make, didn't want to paint it. It's a nice, very nice looking kit. I really liked its presence in the anime, and of course what it did at the end of the series, which was kind of cool and sad at the same time. But it's a nice kit to build, and you know, you gotta admit, massive claw nippers as weaponry was the coolest thing to see. You know, and obviously the running joke last year was, of course, hey, or the year before, I'm gonna use those to cut, you know, some parts off. So we all saw that. But I'm kind of disappointed with Bandai. They should have made this a 1/100 scale version. This would have been perfect for a 1/100 scale version of this kit. Yes, it would have had the same Gundam inner frame, but I was getting sick and tired of building the same inner frame over and over. But this, I was willing to accept, because I like how bulky it was, how strong it was. You know, obviously they had forearms. The forearm setup is a little bit more better than the Rebake version, but this one was a lot. This one takes the cake, and Bandai should have made a 1/100 scale version. So last year, I decided to build my custom for the Gunpla Builders World Cup 2017 that was going to be held in New York Comic Con. I talked about creating two, but I knew two couldn't happen. I only had to build one. And the one kit that I wanted to use as a base was the 1/100 scale Makris Trooper that I got from a grab bag a year before. And using leftover parts from the Gusian Rebake, parts left over from the Schwarzritter, parts, how can I say, what are the parts that were left over? I don't think there were other parts left over from other kits. Oh yeah, parts that was left over from the EZSR. Some of the parts from the Builder Parts series, like the vents, some added extra parts from other kits, springs. I'm going through the list of other things here. Thrusters, the added part of thrusters, spikes, and parts left over from the campaign parts that I used. I turned my Makris Trooper into a somewhat Centaur-like mobile suit, dubbed Gundam Makris Bellerophon. Now, this was something that I never planned on doing like this. I mean, I envisioned something else, but every time I envisioned it, it turned out into something differently. But regardless of the case, it came out amazingly well with the color tone that you see here, and the melee weapons and all this stuff. This was an endeavor so big that when I was trying to see if I can get the mobile suit to actually stand up, it wouldn't, because it's too heavy based on its own weight. So I'd actually create my own custom base stand that you see here, using plaster, using the actual piece of wood that I got from a art store. I even put lights going from the backpack all the way to the head. Now, unfortunately, the LED, the battery is off, and I'm not going to turn it back on again. It is what it is. I'm not going to even move it. But it was my first entry of me kit bashing a kit and making it what you see here. I did it. I put decals on. I weathered it. It's not 100% perfect, because scratch building never is. But it got me so pumped up for like other ideas in my head, and I said to myself, okay, if this is what I have to do to become, to make these scratch building kits into something a little bit different, but something more unique, I can't wait for my next build. So I didn't win. That's no big deal. But I kind of am proud of myself for doing something like this, and I said, you know what, I can't wait to do the next scratch build kit. And I know many of you guys were very, very impressed. We're very happy. I appreciate all your comments, even after the show. The better person won, but this was a great build, and it got me going. It got me pumped up for things to come. The next kit I started working on was the 144 scale high grade Pale Rider ground heavy equipment type. Very cool looking kit. Very nice. I really liked its overall design. It's very modernized, especially with the weaponry, the equipment it has, the shield. Now this is the Expo version, which I got it at a good deal at the show. I bought two. One I just built, as you can see here, and one that I just gave away about a week ago. Nice and shiny, good metallic look to it. I did a little bit of painting using the orange marker to give it a little more detail, but it's metallic, so you don't think of painting it. Just build it and enjoy how it is. To tell you the truth, and Prime 92 and I has talked about this. This kit should have been a normal build. I think there's a P Bandai version of it, but it's a new kit. It's technically a new kit. It's not a rehash of another kit. It's a new kit. Yes, there are certain parts that's used from I guess the GM. Or the GM type, maybe the Type C, I'm not 100% sure, but still it's a new kit regardless of the case. So we should have gotten this as a normal build, or normal kit to begin with. But this is what Bandai did. It's not a P Bandai, I'll say this one, this is not a P Bandai. This is just a normal kit that was released for the show. If you wanted the actual kit, then you'll get the one that's P Bandai that's not metallic. If you get the metallic, yes, cool. If you get the non-metallic, you're paying a little bit more for the P Bandai, but regardless of the case, it's still a beautiful looking kit. And please, Bandai, master grade, I'll take an RE 100. The next kit I started working on was the high grade Build Fighters Jim 144 scale from the Gunpla Mafia Counterattack animated episode. If there's one high grade kit that I have to recommend for 2017, it is this. Without a doubt, one of the most easiest high grade kits I have ever made. No issues anywhere. There's a slight modification that needs to be done where if you want to paint the arms, which I did try to show off in the video. And there's some people on Facebook, online, who showed what to do. But regardless of the case, it is still an amazing build. It is so versatile. Some people say it's mundane, but it has a high growth potential for whatever combination you would want to do. I've seen many people online doing some crazy customs on this. Now, clearly, when you get this, you can also purchase the weapon set, which comes with the sniper rifle and other attachments, so you can make, a machine gun, a beam rifle, whatever. I decided to do something different. Since I got two of them from Hobbylink Japan, I decided to get a third one from Gundam Planet. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do all three of them. But at the same time, I said, what am I going to do with this? And then I realized that there's another type of, I can paint it something different. I was always a big fan of the White Dingo team from the manga and the video game. So I decided to turn it into the White Dingo team myself using this color scheme that you see here. Easy to do. Very easy. And I had enough decals to put it on it and give it the overall excuse me, the overall look that you see here. And I decided to make it unique. Each unit is unique. So one unit is a heavy weapons unit. The other one is a sniper unit. The other one is a close combat unit with the shields in the back, kind of like Origins. Came out really good. And to tell you the truth, I could have gone a little further with the sniper. Could have gone a little further with the heavy weapons. But I said, you know what, this 3 is enough. I didn't want to oversaturate it a bit, even though this one is pretty much ridiculous, but it came out really nice. I highly recommend it to get this kit. Right now, Gundam Planet doesn't have it. They're out of stock, and I believe Hobbylink Japan may be out of stock. I don't know, but if you by any chance go to a hobby store and you see one of these guys, even if you don't want to buy 3, buy 1 and just enjoy building it. It's so perfect. I don't rarely say a high grade is perfect, but this is a perfect high grade kit. Highly recommend. Pick it up, shut up, and get it. And without a doubt, the next kit that I worked on was the 1/100 scale Master Grade Double Zeta Gundam version Katoki from the Double Zeta animated series. I never built the Double Zeta other than the original no grade 1/100 scale, and that I remember it had problems. This one, on the other hand, corrected a lot of problems, but it also has its own unique issues to my knowledge, to my taste. It is a perfect kit. It's solid, it's strong, and I would recommend that when you paint it, you make sure you seal it up, and so that way you don't scrape the paint off. I use the standard colors that you see here, so it's spot on right there, with the minor details here and there to give it a little bit more a better look to it. It's nice. It's a very beautiful looking kit just to look at it. And yes, this is a Katoki version. I have the decals. I will definitely like to spend my time just sitting down, putting a decal here and there, and give it the overall look that it needs. But I will give you a word of warning. Even though this kit can transform into the G Fortress mode, or the core base, or the core fighter, or the core top, unless you want to keep it that way and never transform it back to robot mode, keep it in robot mode, because you know, you might as well buy yourself another one and make it the G Fortress, because the G Fortress is amazing how it looks, you know, when everything is all transformed. Transformation is easy and clean, very clean. There's some great detail, minute details, because these had layers upon layers upon layers of parts with different type of color on it, which was great, but it was a pain in the ass to paint it. And of course I lost a couple of parts before, pissed off at that. Regardless of the case, it's a beautiful looking kit. You have to put a lot of love in building this guy. It's big, it's massive, and it's not expensive though, because now you could probably find a good deal. There was a sale a few weeks ago, which of course now I don't know if the sale's still there, but it's still a beautiful looking kit to make and to admire. I wouldn't hesitate on getting this, because unless you want to buy this, or you want to buy the new enhanced version, which now is a little bit more expensive. It's not a P Bandai. It has some better features to bring out the kit even further. You can buy the expansion set alone, which is another 40 or 50 bucks, I don't know. But unless you really are a fan of Double Zeta, I would avoid it. But if you are, be prepared to take your time, go easy on this kit, and just build it normally, and just take your time on this, because I took a long time making this kit with all the parts, painting it correctly. It was a chore, real chore, but I did it. As you can see here, it's not 100% perfect, but it's really close enough, and it's a beautiful looking kit. Well, here it is, all the kits that I've made for 2017, all are here on display. I built, let's see, let's count it off here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. 17 kits made for 2017. Pretty much one kit a month. Now I did build some other things, like, you know, the unboxing of the Universal Unit kits. I think there was the Star Wars kit, the A-Wing, but this was pretty much I'm focusing on, and I'd like to thank you guys all for watching all these videos, for your comments, for your suggestions. Obviously I posted a lot of videos this year talking about, you know, upcoming kits coming soon, and kits that are already out right now, new events that's happening. Pretty much all the cool things that I can see, and you guys were kind enough to watch. It was a great year for 2017, and let's see what 2018 has to offer, not only for me, but for all of you as well. I'd like to thank you guys all for watching, and stay tuned for more Gundam models yet to come. You guys all have a great year.